Welcome to another tutorial for interior real estate photography. Today we're going to be focusing on that Flambient method. We're going to be taking an ambient image that looks like this and transforming it into this with only using one flash pop. And stick around to the end because I'm going to teach you and show you my method for exporting all your images all at once and the method I use to deliver them to my client. But let's get into Lightroom right now and create this image. All right, so here we are in Lightroom. This is the typical ambient layer shooting right at these windows. It wasn't too harsh of a sunny day, but you can tell that it's definitely overpowering the rest of the image, which is why we use flash, because now we have just the color isn't going to be accurate because there's so much light washing out things. And we're going to take this image and blend it with this image. So let's start with our ambient layer, and all I did was pretty much bring the highlights down just because everything was pretty blown out there. We want to just, have some information left. And here's a tip. So when you're shooting your ambient layer, make sure that the majority of your histogram is shoved to the right side, okay? And ask yourself, when I blend this ambient layer back in from the flash shot, is it going to look good? Because if your ambient layer is too dark, it's not going to look good when you start blending it back in from your flash shot. So just keep that in mind. Here we are. Look at how nice and lit everything is. We are going to now come over to the flash image. Okay, let's make sure we highlight both of these. Right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. All right, so now that you have both your layers in Photoshop, all right, so we got to create that layer, Command I to invert it. Make sure your brush is on white over here. Bring that up. And now we can paint and get rid of those flash shadows that were created that aren't natural. And then we got to get that natural sun hitting this fireplace. We want to make sure that we get this sun hitting this couch. Now you don't want to go overboard. You want to just leave a little bit. That's why I leave my flow at about 6%, so I can just blend in just enough ambient to get rid of and hide those shadows. See that shadow right here? We just want to keep painting until that shadow is gone. And again, that would not be that bright, so we want to make sure that we get rid of any obvious flash artifacts, because it would be, you would have natural shadow right here by the couch because it is blocking the sunlight coming in. And there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now this window there's blinds on the window, but if you accidentally went too far here, all you do is come over here, flip it to black, and paint that flash layer back in, right like that, and there you go. And that is done. So what we're going to do is just right click, flatten image, Command S to save it, and it brings it right back into Lightroom for you. And I have a final bump that I do. I call it the interior final, right like that. Sometimes it pushes, not every preset is going to be perfect out of the box. You got to tweak it, every one of them, but it does make your workflow a lot faster. So really what it did is it brought the highlights back down. I don't know if I needed to do that. And again, see, it's just a matter of personal preference. See, I like keeping it the way it was. Maybe add a little bit more black in there. I really like that. Didn't even have to do a TV replacement. Look at the glare on that, nice and clean. I like this. So what I would typically do now is I would hit this button on my keyboard and flag it. And then I would move to the next image. And then once you're all done, you come over here on the corner and go flagged. And it's going to give you all your flagged images. You're going to click the last or the first one and then slide down and then shift and click that one. It's going to highlight them all. Right click, export, and then export. And then I create files. Each realtor that I work for has their own file. And then in their file is the addresses of the listings that we did, and that's where I put those images. The other thing to do too is to make sure you're labeling your files, and this is why it's easier. I used to export after every single image that I was done editing, calling it 1, and then this, and then 2, and it just, again, that just takes too much time. When you start getting up there doing 2-3 listings a day, you're going to need to find methods that work for you to make your workflow a lot faster. Right here, I like to name the title of, or the file title, the address of the house, and that's it. Lightroom will automatically put 1 out of 20, 2 out of 20, 3 out of 20, or however many images you exported that time. The other thing to check is right here, the quality. I go as far as pushing this down 15, even 10. Okay, that's going to keep the file really small, but it's not going to compress it to the point where it's garbage. Okay, you're going to want to keep these files small because it's going to help the realtor when they go to upload these to the MLS. They're going to upload a lot faster for them. Or if they're downloading them to their cell phone, it's going to make their life a lot easier. They're going to be able to download all your files fast. So, in real estate, if you're not already familiar with it, they want their photos yesterday. They want to sell the house yesterday. Everything has to happen fast. And that's why your turnover when you're delivering these files should be the same day. I hope this video has helped you. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.